"Don't open it yet," the soldier beside him murmured. "It's humming." Captain Rian Holt didn't answer. His gloved hand hovered over the silver box that pulsed faintly under the dark blue lights of the derelict alien ship. The hum wasn't mechanical, it sounded almost alive, like a heartbeat lost in metal. He tilted his head, eyes narrowing. If it's humming, it's not dead. That means it's worth more than anything else in this graveyard. The corridor around them was a cathedral of silence. Half-broken panels flickered, reflecting the human salvage crew's flashlights like glimmers of ghosts. Somewhere beyond, a faint wind whispered, except there was no atmosphere left to carry it. Lieutenant Mara adjusted her scanner. "Energy readings are off the scale, sir." "Whatever's in that box, it's older than this ship," Rian smirked. "Older usually means valuable." He tapped the lid. The hum changed pitch, almost like a sigh, and then a voice. Soft, melodic. Too human to be alien, too alien to be human. "Open the box, human, and I'll be yours," Mara froze. Did you hear that?" Ryan's jaw tightened. He heard it, not through his ears. Inside his thoughts, a whisper brushing against his mind like silk and static. He looked down. The box now pulsed with golden light. Something inside was calling to him. He pulled off his gloves, ignoring the warnings flashing across his visor. The metal surface was warm, almost like skin. His reflection shimmered, warping into the image of a woman's face, eyes radiant, skin pale as starlight, lips trembling in silent plea. "Captain." Mara's voice quivered. "Command said to retrieve, not interact." "Command's 100 million miles away," Rian muttered. His pulse quickened. "And whatever this is, it wants me." He reached for the seal, but the voice came again, sharper this time, laced with sorrow and promise. "If you open the box now, you cannot undo what follows. But if you wait, time will close the door forever." Rian hesitated. The hum deepened, vibrating through the floor. The ship itself seemed to react. The lights flickered in rhythm with the box's pulse. The walls began to breathe. "Sir," Mara shouted. "The ship's powering up."
"It's reawakening!"
The deck lurched beneath their feet. Consoles long dead for centuries flared alive, symbols crawling across them like living script. Rian steadied himself, staring at the box that now pulsed faster, matching his heartbeat. A countdown began to flash across his visor. 0004, 59. Where's that coming from? Mara screamed. "Doesn't matter," Rian said, though his throat felt dry. "It's giving us 5 minutes. Either we open it or it opens itself." The voice returned, softer now, pleading. "Please, human." I waited beyond time. "Open it before they find me," Rian swallowed. His training screamed no, but the way she said "they" twisted his gut with dread. Who were they? Outside the derelict ship, the void shimmered. Sensors picked up faint movement. Something large. Cold and alive. "Mara," he ordered. "Ready the shuttle for extraction." "Sir, you're not thinking of—" "I'm thinking," he interrupted, eyes locked on the golden light, "that we didn't come all this way to walk away empty-handed." The timer hit 0:03 crow. The hum was now a heartbeat thunder, and in its rhythm he could hear words forming, memories. Names, fragments of emotion. Alora, that was her name. He didn't know how, but he did. "She's not a weapon," Rian whispered. "She's someone." The ship groaned, metal bending as though in agony. "Captain," Mara yelled as a beam collapsed behind them. "We have to move now." Ryan's hand hovered over the seal. His reflection, her reflection, looked back, eyes wide, shimmering with tears that were made of light. The hum reached a crescendo. One and on. Alora's whisper filled his thoughts again. "Open the box, human, and I'll be yours." He clenched his jaw, every instinct at war. Logic screamed retreat. Curiosity burned like fire. Humanity's greatest strength and weakness was never knowing when to stop. The ship trembled. Alarms shrieked, and Rian Holt, with one steady breath, pressed his thumb against the seal. The box bloomed open like a star. Light consumed the corridor. Mara screamed his name. Then the world vanished in white. When the light faded, Captain Rian Holt was no longer standing in the ruined corridor of the alien ship. He was standing in a memory, or what looked like one. Golden clouds drifted through a vast chamber of glass and marble. Floating islands shimmered under a violet sky. and statues of figures with wings of crystal watched from above. It was breathtaking and silent except for a soft voice echoing like music through water. Human. You opened it. Rian turned, heart pounding. She was there, Allura. The face from the reflection. The one who whispered to him. She stood barefoot on a glass platform, hair flowing like molten silver, her eyes filled with galaxies. She looked fragile and impossibly powerful. "Where am I?" he asked. His voice sounded too loud, too small for the place. "You're inside the vault of my kind," Allura said softly, "where time folds and memories linger. You freed me. But you also broke the seal that protected both our worlds," Rian frowned. "I didn't sign up to break seals. I signed up to salvage tech." Her lips curved into a faint smile, though sadness flickered behind it. "Humans, always thinking in terms of trade." He crossed his arms. "And aliens always think we shouldn't be here. Yet somehow your message was in human language." "That's because I made it so," she said, stepping closer. "I wanted you to find me," Rian blinked. "You wanted a human?" "I needed one," she corrected. "Someone who remembers how to fight without losing their soul." The air trembled. The serene world began to crack, fine fissures of darkness spreading across the sky. Rian instinctively reached for his sidearm, but it wasn't there. "What's happening?" "They found me," Allura whispered. "The Wardens of Silence, the ones who imprisoned me. They're coming to erase what I am, and what you've just seen." Rian's instincts roared awake. "If they're coming, we move. Fast." "You cannot fight them with weapons," Allura said, her tone distant now, like she was listening to something beyond. "You can only resist through will. That's why I chose a human. You bend reality by refusing to surrender." "Yeah, willpower's kinda our thing," Rian muttered. "But I'd still prefer a rifle." She smiled faintly. "You'll have something better." Her hand touched his chest, and suddenly, images flashed through his mind. Ancient wars fought under dying suns, cities made of light, and her people, the Elyrians, beings who once shaped time itself. He saw their downfall, their betrayal, the imprisonment of their last princess in a sealed box drifting between galaxies. And he saw her alone, calling out to the stars. Calling to him, the world trembled again. Dark shapes began to appear at the edges of the marble halls. Tall, shadowy figures, faceless but armed with glowing staffs that pulsed like dying suns. "Wardens," Allura breathed. "They devour thought. If they reach you, your mind will vanish into silence." Rian clenched his fists. "Then they'll have to earn it." He took a step forward, and the floor beneath his boots rippled like liquid light. His reflection shimmered, now clad in armor of blue fire. Energy coiled around his hands. Allura's voice echoed in awe. "You're already adapting." "Humans do that," he said, grinning. "We don't wait for permission to evolve." The first warden struck, its staff slicing through air with the sound of collapsing stars. Rian blocked it with a reflex he didn't understand, energy crackling through his arms. Sparks of gold and silver exploded on impact. The princess watched, eyes wide, as the human fought beings of silence with will made visible. When the last warden fell, dissolving into dust and echoes, the light dimmed again. Allura stepped closer, voice trembling. "They'll send more. They never stop." Rian steadied his breath. "Then neither do we." For a moment, something unspoken passed between them. Trust, fragile but real. But then her expression changed. "Rian, there's something you must know." He turned. "What?" "The moment you opened that box, a beacon lit across the galaxy. Every empire that fears humanity's rise will see it. You've declared war without knowing it." The silence that followed was deafening. Rian's eyes narrowed. "Then I guess humanity just made history." And above them, through the cracked sky of memories, the first enemy fleet began to appear. Rian felt the weight of the universe pressing on him. The sky of the Elyrian vault was no longer violet. It had darkened, streaked with shadows like spilled ink. Across the expanse, shapes moved with eerie precision. Fleets of alien warships, each one larger than any human vessel, silent and ominous. Allura's hand trembled slightly as she pointed toward the approaching fleet. "They are the Harbingers of Silence," she whispered. "They patrol the void for disturbances. You have made one." Rian squinted at the shadows. "Great, so we're famous now. First humans to piss off an interstellar armada." She didn't smile. "They will not negotiate. They erase every soul, every memory, and they sense you. He frowned. Senses me, why me? Alora's silver hair shimmered in the fading light. Because you carry something they cannot understand. Humanity. The spark they cannot suppress. And because I called to you, they feel the pull. Rian swallowed. His mind raced. Humans were known for swagger and cleverness, but this was an existential threat beyond any battle he'd ever faced. And yet, despite the fear curling in his gut, he felt the familiar rush of challenge. All right, he said, adjusting the way his boots pressed against the shimmering floor. First rule, don't panic. Second rule, make them regret thinking they can erase us. Alora tilted her head, curious. You speak as if it's simple. To a human? Yeah, Rian replied, a smirk tugging at his lips. Simple is surviving. Complicated is letting the universe tell you no. Before she could respond, the shadows coalesced. Massive forms emerged. Not ships, but living constructs of metal and energy, eyes like dying stars. Their movements were deliberate, hunting. The Harbingers didn't shoot first. They stole first, reaching into the minds of those they touched. Rian felt the pull before he saw it. A cold pressure, probing for fear, doubt, hesitation. He shook it off, gritting his teeth. Not today, he muttered. Alora gasped. Captain, be careful. They can collapse thought. Ryan's instincts kicked in. He threw himself forward, pivoting, dodging energy tendrils that sliced through the air. His movements were sharp, precise, guided by intuition and survival. He grabbed a shard of glowing crystal from the floor, swung it, and it cut through one of the constructs with a scream of raw energy. Alora's eyes widened. You're adapting faster than I imagined. They called me here, he said, eyes scanning the battlefield. Doesn't mean I like the invitation. The constructs retreated for a moment, regrouping. Rian noticed patterns in their movement like a dance. They're predictable, he muttered, voice low. Every machine has a rhythm. Find it, break it, and they panic. Alora moved beside him. You can really do this? I can, he replied. Humans survive. We improvise. We bend rules, and we fight when the odds are impossible. The shadows surged again, faster this time. Energy lashes struck the floor, cracking it beneath them. Rian barely dodged, grabbing Alora's hand to pull her back. The touch sent sparks of warmth and strength between them. Human resilience meeting Elyrian power. They'll never forgive you for this, she whispered, opening the box, calling me, revealing me. We've lit a beacon, Rian. Now all the predators of the void will come. He didn't flinch. Then let them come. You're with me now, and I don't leave people behind. Alora's gaze softened, but her eyes were filled with unspoken worry. I've waited eons for freedom, but freedom comes at a cost you cannot yet understand. Rian grinned, grim and fierce. Costs are for people who quit. I don't quit. From the horizon of violet and gold, the first wave of the Harbingers closed in. The pulse of the Elyrian vault shook under their arrival, shards of memory splintering into the void. Rian readied himself. Energy coiled around his arms, forming a shimmering shield. The constructs lunged. He struck first, sending a bolt of pure will through one, cracking its form into fragments of shadow and light. Alora whispered his name, her voice trembling but confident. You're more than I hoped, human. You might save us all. Ryan's chest tightened. No one's saving me. I'm saving everyone, including her. And in that instant, as shadows collided with light, as alien warships drifted silently in the void above, Captain Rian Holt realized something terrifyingly exhilarating. Humanity had arrived in a war it didn't yet understand, and he, against all odds, was leading the charge. Rian's boots barely made a sound on the rippling glass as he and Alora moved deeper into the Elyrian vault. The battlefield behind them was a blur of collapsing constructs and lingering echoes. The Harbingers had retreated, for now, but he knew it was only temporary. Alora floated beside him, hair shimmering like liquid silver, eyes scanning every corner. We can't stay here, she said. The vault is a nexus. It connects to every world my people touched. The Harbingers will trace the beacon. They will find us. Rian's hands flexed, energy crackling faintly over his skin. Then we move fast. They entered a hall lined with towering pillars, each carved with symbols that seemed to move when he looked directly at them. Shapes of battles, civilizations, and moments frozen in time stretched across the stone. Rian's fingers brushed one. The pillar hummed, and for a brief second, he saw a glimpse of the Elyrian Empire at its height. Cities of light, skyships weaving between floating towers, beings of immense beauty and intelligence shaping the cosmos. Everything you see, Elora whispered, was lost when the wardens rose. Only fragments remain, until now. Rian studied the pillars. So these are memories?
Yes, she said.
And they are dangerous. The wardens can consume them, erase history, and anyone who touches the memories risks their mind as well. He frowned. Great. So touching ancient alien memories is now on the list of things not to do. Elora gave him a small smile. It's not just memories. It's power. Whoever controls them can reshape reality, which is why the Harbingers are hunting us. The sound of a distant tremor made them pause. The floor vibrated subtly like a heartbeat under threat. Ryan's instincts screamed. Movement, yes, but something alive, something patient. They're close, Elora said. Closer than we thought. Rian narrowed his eyes. Then we split the path. We need leverage, and I don't plan to run forever. Elora hesitated. The paths of the vault are not stable. They respond to thought, to emotion. One wrong step could trap you in a memory forever. Or worse, erase who you are. Rian smirked, his trademark swagger returning. Then I guess humans are good at improvising. She looked at him, curious and cautious. You're braver than most humans. Or foolish. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, he said, stepping forward. His boots sank slightly into the glass floor, ripples of golden light spreading with each step. As they progressed, the hall shifted. Shadows pooled along the walls, whispering unintelligible syllables. Rian tensed. They're testing us. Yes, Elora whispered. The wardens can manipulate shadows, bend thoughts. If you falter even for a moment, they will reach inside your mind. A figure emerged, a translucent silhouette, humanoid but distorted, eyes black voids. It reached toward Rian, its voice a rasping echo of Elora's earlier whisper. Human. Open the path. Surrender. Ryan's pulse surged, his hand clenched, energy sparking from his knuckles. You want me to surrender? That's cute. He struck not with a weapon but with will. The shadow recoiled, fragments of memory scattering into the ether. Elora gasped. Your mind? It's strong. Stronger than I imagined. But you can't hold them off forever. Rian exhaled, feeling the residue of the psychic attack fading. Then we moved faster. They reached a central chamber. In the middle floated a sphere of pure light, the size of a small moon rotating slowly. Within it, glimpses of distant worlds, histories, and civilizations shimmered. That's the heart of the vault, Elora said reverently. It contains the essence of Elyria, my people. If the Harbingers reach it, everything is lost. But it's also the key to freedom. To power, to revenge. Rian stepped closer. He could feel the pull, a magnetic force tugging at his soul, whispering promises of strength and knowledge. But he didn't step too far. Humans never fell for the first temptation. They tested it, measured it, controlled it. Elora's gaze softened. You understand, don't you? The vault isn't just a place. It's a test, and only the one who refuses to break will survive and lead. Rian looked at her, determination in his eyes. Then let's make sure the wardens never get the chance. Time to show them why humans don't bow quietly. Outside, in the void between stars, the first Harbinger scouts reappeared, silent, patient, watching, waiting. And inside the vault, Rian Holt and the alien princess took the first real step toward a war that would span galaxies. Their fates entwined by courage, defiance, and an unspoken bond that neither of them fully understood yet, but that would change the universe forever. The vault pulsed around them, alive and unpredictable. Every step Rian took sent ripples of light and memory across the glass floor. Elora floated beside him, her presence calm yet tense like a star holding back a storm. Outside, the void whispered promises of death. The Harbingers were closing in, and every heartbeat drew them nearer. Rian tightened his fists. Time's ticking and the shadows don't nap. Where to first? Elora's gaze scanned the luminous pillars surrounding them. The labyrinth of echoes. It contains fragments of my lineage, keys to unlocking the heart. But it's dangerous. Many get lost in its corridors, swallowed by their own thoughts. Rian smirked. Getting lost is part of the adventure. Besides, humans have a way of bending impossible rules. She frowned, but the hint of admiration in her eyes was clear. Humans, always bold, perhaps too bold. As they approached the labyrinth, the vault shifted. Walls stretched and twisted, turning corridors into impossible angles. Shadows flickered at the corners of his vision, whispering in languages older than stars, probing, testing. Ryan's pulse raced. The first warden arrived. Unlike before, it moved silently, a blackened figure with tendrils of void trailing behind it, reaching into his mind. Rian gritted his teeth, forcing his will to resist the intrusion. Memories of his home, his crew, his choices flared in his mind. He clutched them like armor. "Focus on me," Allura commanded, her voice steady. "Your thoughts are anchors. They cannot touch you if you control them." Rian nodded, energy sparking along his arms. He lunged, striking at the warden with shards of crystallized light from the vault floor. The creature hissed, recoiling, and dissolved into black mist. But another emerged immediately, faster and more cunning. "You're learning," Allura said. "But learning alone won't be enough." "They adapt, Rian. They learn too." He grinned, breathing hard. "Good. Then we'll make sure they learn the hard way." The labyrinth's corridors shifted again, revealing a chamber at its center. A circular platform surrounded by floating glyphs that glowed like molten gold. At its core floated a small prism of light, ancient Elyrian tech, capable of bending the vault's memory flows. "This is it," Allura said softly. "The prism of thought. With it you can stabilize the heart, or destroy it." Rian stepped closer, studying the rotating prism. He felt its pull, an irresistible promise of control, power, and knowledge. The whispers grew louder, tugging at his thoughts. His mind filled with visions of the galaxy under human command, civilizations trembling at his feet. He shook his head. "No, that's not why I'm here." Allura's eyes softened. "Exactly. You resist. That is why you are human. Strength without domination, courage without surrender. That is why the Elyrian legacy survives through you." Suddenly the air vibrated. A roar like collapsing stars echoed through the labyrinth. Outside, Harbinger fleets had arrived, hundreds of vessels moving in unison, tracing the beacon he had ignited when opening the box. The void itself seemed to fold around them. "They've found us," Allura said. "And they're not just coming. They're tearing a path through space to reach the vault. Time is almost up." Rian clenched his fists. "Then we fight. And we don't hold back." He grabbed the prism and a surge of light coursed through him, amplifying his will. Shadows screamed as he focused his thoughts, creating a shield of radiant energy around them. The labyrinth became their battlefield, corridors twisting violently as constructs of darkness tried to crush them. Allura raised her hands, channeling Elyrian energy into the vault. Together, their combined will carved paths through memory and shadow alike. The prism pulsed, stabilizing the vault, keeping them one step ahead of the Harbinger's reach. But even as they fought, Rian knew the truth. This victory was temporary. The Harbingers would return, stronger, smarter, relentless, and every moment they delayed them brought the galaxy closer to annihilation, or submission. He looked at Allura, her silver hair floating in the light of the prism. "We've got a chance," he said. "But we're running out of time," Allura nodded. "Then we must use it wisely, human. The heart awaits, but only those who endure the labyrinth can claim it." Rian flexed his fingers, sparks of energy trailing along his arms. "Then let's endure, and then some." Above them, in the void beyond the vault, the first wave of Harbingers shifted course. The hunt had truly begun. The prism's light guided them through the final corridors of the labyrinth of echoes. Every step felt heavier than the last. The vault seemed alive, as if it could sense their fatigue and push back. Shadows whispered from the walls, distant echoes of the wardens probing, testing, daring them to falter. Rian tightened his grip on the prism. Energy coursed through him, thrumming in tune with his heartbeat. Allura floated beside him, her silver hair trailing in waves like liquid starlight, eyes fixed ahead. "The heart of Elyria lies beyond this chamber," she said softly. "One misstep and everything we've fought for collapses." Rian smirked, though unease prickled at his mind. "Nothing worthwhile comes easy, Princess. We're good at missteps, but better at survival." Allura's gaze lingered on him, a mixture of admiration and worry. Humans have a peculiar way of defying fate, and yet fate is patient. It waits. The final doors appeared, a pair of colossal archways carved from crystal and metal, inscribed with symbols that shimmered like liquid moonlight. As they stepped closer, the doors pulsed, reacting to the prism's light. Rian could feel a pull stronger than gravity, tugging at his very soul. "Are you ready?" Allura asked. "As I'll ever be." Rian replied, swallowing the tension coiling in his chest. Together they pushed through. The chamber beyond was unlike anything he had ever seen. A cathedral of stars, infinite in scale, stretched in every direction. In the center floated a sphere larger than any ship, glowing with the pure essence of Elyria. It pulsed rhythmically like a heart, casting golden light across the void. The heart of Elyria, Alora's voice trembled. This is what my people sacrificed everything to protect. One wrong touch, one lapse in focus, and it could consume you. Or the vault itself. Rian stepped closer, feeling the weight of aeons pressing down on him. Then we don't make mistakes, he said firmly. We survive, we win. Simple human rule. As he reached out, a shadow tore through the chamber, one of the Harbingers, massive and terrifying, tendrils of void stretching to consume the light. Its voice echoed in his mind, surrender. You are not worthy. Humanity will fade, Rian gritted his teeth. Not today. Energy from the prism surged into him, amplifying his will. The shadow recoiled, but others emerged, dozens, hundreds, filling the chamber with creeping darkness. Elora raised her hands, channeling Elyrian power, shaping barriers of shimmering light. Together they became a storm of defiance. Human determination and Elyrian essence intertwined. You're more than I imagined, Rian, Elora said, voice barely audible over the roar of energy. Stronger, fiercer, alive in ways the wardens cannot comprehend. He glanced at her, determination burning in his eyes. Humans survive because we fight when it seems impossible. That's what makes us dangerous. The shadows struck, probing their minds, attempting to twist doubt into fear. Rian's thoughts sharpened. Memories of home, crew, victories, losses, and his unwavering drive to protect Elora became armor. He swung the prism, sending bolts of radiant energy through the void, shattering the warden's forms into fragments of darkness. Elora guided him, her voice steady now. Focus your will, Rian. Bind the heart to you and me, or it will fall to the Harbingers. He extended both hands, energy spiraling outward, entwining with Elora's light. The heart pulsed faster, responding to their combined will. The chamber trembled, shards of crystal and memory floating in chaotic brilliance. Shadows shrieked as the light intensified, unable to withstand the fusion of human defiance and Elyrian power. And then, silence. The chamber stilled. The heart hovered, radiant and calm. The Harbingers had retreated, or perhaps for now they had been banished. Rian exhaled, sweat and energy coiling along his arms. That was intense. Elora floated closer, eyes soft. You have passed the trial, human. Together we have bound the heart. Illyria's legacy is safe. For now, Rian met her gaze. For now? She nodded. The Harbingers will return, and they will bring more than shadows next time. But today we have won, and we have each other. For the first time, Rian allowed himself to relax. He looked at her, not as a relic or a mission, but as a being who had trusted him with the weight of entire civilizations. Humanity had not only survived, it had become a force that could stand against the incomprehensible. And in the glow of the heart, in the silence that followed the storm, Captain Rian Holt realized something profound. Courage, defiance, and loyalty were not just human traits, they were universal. The stars outside the vault shimmered, distant but watching, as if acknowledging the birth of a new legend. Rian and Elora stood before the heart of Elyria, its golden light spilling across the vaulted chamber. The echoes of the battle still lingered. The shadows had retreated, but their threat remained, a persistent pulse at the edges of the void. For the first time, Rian allowed himself to feel the weight of what they had achieved. Humanity had not only survived, they had reshaped the course of an entire alien legacy. Elora floated closer, her silver hair shimmering like liquid starlight. The Harbingers will not rest, she said softly. They sense your strength now, Rian. Humanity's defiance is a beacon, and one they will attempt to snuff out. Rian cracked a grin, energy from the prism still coiling faintly around his hands. Then let them come. If this is what it takes to protect you and your people, I'll fight every impossible battle. Elora's eyes glimmered with emotion. You carry more than courage. You carry the soul of your species, the very essence of humanity's spirit. That is why you could survive the heart. Outside the vault, the void stirred. Fleets of the Harbingers gathered, their movements precise, their intentions deadly. They were patient, relentless, immortal, but they had underestimated humans. They had underestimated him. Rian exhaled, feeling the weight of the universe in his chest. We need a plan, not just for them, but for every world that could fall under their shadow, and we need to act fast. The beacon is still alive. Allura extended her hands, weaving strands of Elyrian energy through his, binding their wills together. Then we fight, not just to survive, but to reclaim what has been lost. With the heart, we can amplify humanity's reach, but it will test us, both of us, beyond anything we've imagined. Rian nodded. Humanity never quits, and neither do I. The chamber pulsed, responding to their unified will. The prism of thought levitated higher, sending waves of golden light across the vault, connecting memory, power, and reality itself. The Harbingers recoiled, unable to breach the shield, but victory was not without its cost. The vault trembled violently, fragments of memory raining down like shattered stars. Allura's eyes widened. We cannot hold this forever. The heart can protect us, but only if we take the fight to them. Rian's jaw tightened. Then we take it. Let's make sure they remember humanity, not as prey, but as hunters. Let's turn the galaxy upside down. Together they stepped through the vault's threshold, emerging into the void. Ships of unimaginable design surrounded them, harbingers striking from every angle. Yet with the heart amplifying their will, Rian and Allura became a storm of defiance, energy lashing out, shattering enemy formations, bending space around them with thought alone. Allura's voice rang in his mind. We can do this, together. Your courage, my knowledge, it can reshape everything. Rian met her gaze, determination blazing. Then let's make history. The battle raged, light against shadow, humanity against silence. Rian's mind and body moved in perfect sync with the Elyrian energy coursing through him. Every strike, every movement was a testament to human resilience, to the audacity that refused to bow, to the spark that had drawn Allura across eons. And as the last of the Harbingers fell, dissolving into the void, a new reality crystallized. Humanity had not only survived, they had become a force that even ancient civilizations could not ignore. The stars themselves seemed to pulse in acknowledgement. Allura floated close, her hand brushing his. You have changed everything, Rian Holt, and perhaps changed yourself as well. Rian's lips curved into a faint smile. Humans change everything, Princess. That's what we do. For a moment, silence reigned. Only the heartbeat of the heart remained, a reminder of what they had achieved, and of the responsibilities that awaited them. Together they had defied fate, reshaped the vault, and forged a bond that transcended species, time, and space. And in that quiet, Rian realized the truth that had guided him all along. Humanity's greatest weapon was not technology, not strategy, not strength, but the indomitable will to rise, to endure, and to fight beyond the impossible. The stars stretched infinitely before them, and with Allura at his side, Captain Rian Holt stepped forward, not as a mere human, but as the herald of a new era. One where courage could echo across galaxies and hope could outshine even the darkness of eternity. The adventure was far from over, but humanity had claimed its place among the stars.